Sole proprietor, LLC, S corporation. What's the big difference? For a small business owner, choosing or not choosing the right entity can mean the difference between profitability as well as potential liability. If you started a business and you didn't elect anything, you didn't file any paperwork with your state, your county, or wherever, you would default to a sole proprietorship or a partnership if you're in business with a friend. If you file the right paperwork, you can be classified as a limited liability corporation, and then you can elect to be treated as an S corporation for tax purposes. You may be asking yourself, which one is the best? And that is the one that best suits your specific needs. Kind of a letdown, I know, but we'll cover a few basics to help give you a better idea of which one may be beneficial for you. There are more things to consider than what we'll cover today, but I wanted to touch on a few of the highlights. The first thing is to talk about unlimited liability, which is definitely as bad as it sounds. But honestly, it's not the worst thing in the world. Sole proprietors and partnerships generally have unlimited liability. Having unlimited liability means that you're one and the same with your business. If something happens in your business, you could get personally sued and your personal assets are fair game. That sounds scary. But if you have the right insurance and you're not in a particularly dangerous line of work, it may not actually be that bad. Conversely, LLCs and S Corps generally benefit from having limited liability. This means that the entities themselves are separate from their owners. You may have heard of the term corporate veil. This can shield your personal assets from being garnished if something goes wrong in your business. Where most people go wrong is they don't operate their corporations as separate entities from themselves, so then they end up piercing the corporate veil, and they lose that protection. A common way this happens is not having separate bank accounts. The biggest misconception I see is that people think that setting up a corporation will somehow save them some federal or state taxes, and this couldn't be further from the truth. These entities don't pay taxes themselves. The income actually flows through back to the owners and then gets picked up on their personal returns. So if your business made, let's say, $100,000, the business would not pay taxes on that $100,000. The $100,000 would get claimed on your personal return or the owners on their Schedule C. Be sure to check out my video on Schedule C where I go step by step and line by line on how to fill it out if you've never done it before. There are savings to be had in the self-employment tax arena if you file to be an LLC and then you elect S corporation status. See, the S corporation is not a legal entity but more of a tax election strategy. The basic gist of this election allows the owner to draw a reasonable salary and then take the remaining income tax-free. But it's only from self-employment tax. It's not from federal or state taxes. I'll be posting a video going a bit deeper into S corporations because they seem to be all the rage these days with all the YouTube videos and everybody thinking that you have to have an S corporation. Now, there's definitely more you need to know before you elect this strategy because while it may save on self-employment tax, it may end up costing you more money than you're saving. Finally, there are additional taxes that some states impose on corporations. Like in Texas, there's a franchise fee that's charged on certain entity types. There are exemptions and thresholds, and we won't cover them here. Just know that if you file to be an LLC or elect S corporation status as an LLC, you could be on the hook for additional taxes. You also need to factor in the cost of filing documents with the state and additional tax forms that are required for certain entity types before deciding on which route to go. Let me know in the comments which entity type you would recommend and subscribe if you haven't already done so.